And welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. This is our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment, brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Labor's Local 663, and Doak Propane. We go to Whitfield High School, and we bring in head tennis coach Pete DeMoss and our Athlete of the Week, Ellior Rose. Coach DeMoss, thanks so much for your time today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Coach, we've got a young lady here won the state championship in Class 1 tennis. Tell us a little bit about Ellior.
First off, she didn't win it. She, let me put it a different way. The players that she played, she just dominated. So she just kind of walked through everybody. If you look at the scores, amazing. Just amazing. Now I looked at the number of games that you're familiar with tennis. You're a tennis player yourself, I presume.
Yes, sir.
And I think she lost a total of what? 4 games? 5 games? Not much more than that over all the matches that she played. So I'm very proud of her. I know her family's very proud of her, and she just did a jam up job out there.
What makes her special? Is she a big hitter, or is it more of a mental? Talk about the mental and the physical part of Ellie.
Well, first off, she's very smart and she's very coachable. Very few times did she say to me, I know, coach. Don't tell me that. I know. No, she never did that. She was always very coachable. The big thing about her is that she listens, and most of the time she does what I ask her to do. And some of her, she has other coaches that are very, very good, obviously. And the thing about her win and her whole tournament was that it was a windy day. Both days are windy. To play in the wind, you got to kind of alter your game a little bit. For the last few months that we've been together, I've been really impressing upon her to hit topspin. Is that right, Ellie? Would you think I mentioned that maybe once or twice to you? Will you please get under the ball and hit topspin? Because then it came in handy, because when the wind is behind you, when you're playing tennis and you're a tennis player, you know, if you hit that ball more than a foot more than you normally do over the net, the wind behind you, and it was blowing 15, 20, 30 miles an hour, that it would just blow it out. But if you put top on it, guess what? It comes down in the court. And if we tracked our matches and looked at her competitor in the finals, I think you'll find that the other girl didn't play the wind as well. Now, maybe on a calm day, maybe she would have got a few more games, but I don't know how many times when she was her opponent was on the side with the wind behind her, she hit a lot of balls out. They were long because she hit flat and hard. She was a big, strong girl, and even on her serve, she didn't have much of a spin on it, so it was really hard to control in the wind. If you're in the other side where the wind is in your face, now you go ahead and do that. So the other girl, I don't know if she won a game when the wind was behind her, but she won her 4 games, I think, pretty much. Maybe she won 1. But the other 3 she won when the wind was in her face, but she can control the ball a little bit more. And Ellie's pretty smart. No one's going to look at her and say, "Oh, what a dumbo she is." No, she listens. She hit topspin when she needed to. And forgot to tell you this in a previous talk I had with you. Ellie just has a great volley. And I remember when she was a little kid, came to me as a freshman, she could volley. So somebody taught her how to volley besides me, and that turned it around too, because she hit a lot of winners off those volleys.
Well, Elliot, first off, on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks and Central Bank, hey, congratulations, Athlete of the Week here for Week 10 in high school sports, state champion in Class 1 tennis. Was this your first trip to the Final Four?
So this was my first trip to the Final Four, but last year I was able to make it to the quarterfinals of state, so familiar with the area.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your season this season. At what point, maybe, and obviously going to the quarterfinals a year ago, you kind of felt good about your season coming in, but was there a point maybe during the season where you felt like, I could really go on a run?
Yeah, after the first few games, where I hadn't lost the game yet, it really occurred to me that maybe I could continue this streak and maybe I could go all the way. So it was after those first couple games that I really started thinking about it.
As you look at your game, what are maybe the attributes that you're really comfortable with? Where do you feel like you're doing really well right now? And maybe some of those parts of your game where you felt like you needed to work on coming in?
Yeah, so in previous seasons, I know coach would help me with this a lot, making sure I put top spin, as he mentioned, and top spin on my serve specifically. That was a big focus this season, and making sure that my serves stayed consistent throughout the entire season, which is definitely something that I saw improvement in this year compared to years past. And something that I do feel comfortable and strong in are my baseline strokes. That's a strength for me, staying consistent and just out hitting my opponents.
What kind of define your game? Are you big server, like to stay back behind the baseline, big hitter? You like to go to the net? Kind of tell us a little bit about your game from your point of view.
From my point of view, I'm a hustler, so I want to get to every ball, and I do stay back until I have an opportunity to move forward. But I will definitely capitalize on that opportunity, come to the net approach, and go in for the volley.
And Ellior, how do you get prepared? Let's say tonight you've got a match, or maybe tomorrow. What are you doing, physically, mentally? What are you doing to kind of get prepared for that match coming up?
Um, Beforehand, I just try to focus myself on the match. So schoolwork, any other concerns that goes out the window. I'm ready and prepared to play my match. And I just keep telling myself, I repeat to myself mantras like stay focused, be confident. So I go in playing my game and playing confidently and ready for the match.
What do you do in the off season? I mean, what are you doing right now? I mean, the state championships have concluded. Are you still playing tennis, still practicing, attending tournaments?
Yeah, all of the above. So playing club tennis still, 3 or 4 times a week, and definitely looking to get into some more tournaments. Yeah, playing year round.
Now, as you go through the season, a lot of times just based on what I do, I'll look at schedules and I'll say I'd like to be at this football game or this tennis match or something like that, because I know there'll be good matches. As a student athlete, are there certain matches that maybe you look forward to because maybe it's a rival, or maybe it's someone and I mean rival in a friendly way, or someone that or maybe you play in the off season with? Are those matches that you really look forward to during the year?
Yeah, so one of those matches was definitely the match against Duchenne, which was she ended up being my state competition in the state championship too. Last year I played her in our sectionals match, and it was an extremely close match, and I barely pulled it out to move on to state. So I was definitely excited to see her again this year, and just see how far we've both come.
Is that a moment as you look back on this season? Are there one or two or maybe even three moments that you're not going to forget? I mean, I graduated in the '80s. There are still moments from my high school career, whether it be football, basketball, or even tennis, that I'm not going to forget. Are there moments that you're not going to forget that you went through this season?
Yes, definitely. I'd say one of them was the district finals. I remember last year, I played in the district finals against Lizzie Barlow, who's an extremely great player. And although I lost that match, I did get to move on. But this year, winning districts, and feeling like I felt like the ultimate winner. I hadn't lost the match all season, and then winning districts to move on really just it felt like the best feeling in the world. And I was just so grateful to coach and my school and my family and everyone who helped me get to this point.
You bet. Once again, we're visiting with Whitfield head tennis coach Pete DeMoss and our Cheviers of the Ozarks athlete of the week, Ellior Rose. And Coach DeMoss, back to you. Was there a time during this season with Ellie where you felt like, hey, she's got an opportunity here. She can make a run. You talk about the top spin. You talk about her mental preparation. Was there a time during the season where you thought maybe she got over the hump and maybe could make a run all the way to the state championship?
Well, I almost made an assumption that she would go this year. I always remember that last season, at I believe it was districts, where she played the same girl that she played in the finals of this tournament, and she was down, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, as I got older, my memory fades in the stretch a little bit. But I remember, I think you were down 4-love in the second set. You had lost. Oh no, in the third set, you had split sets with the girl that you played, and you came back to win that match. If I got that right, you were down 4-love and you came back to win. And that put you into sectionals, which then put you into state for last year. So of all the matches that you played, that one I remember more than anything else. And I think you probably did too. I think that was a big turning point. I think you proved yourself that you could come back.
Very good. Well, Ellior, again, on behalf of Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations on Missouri Sports Network Athlete of the Week. And I really appreciate your time and your father and Coach DeMoss here setting this up. And we look forward for big things from you. What are your plans as you go forward here? You're a senior, I believe. What are your plans for next year?
Hopefully I will be playing tennis at college at the collegiate level. Not sure where yet, but we're working on it. So that's the goal.
Do you have any idea on maybe a particular area of study? Is there something that interests you?
I want to study exercise science or health, and maybe go into PT in the future.
Outstanding. Once again, Ellior, congratulations, and well deserving. And we'll try and keep an eye on you. And if we can maybe track you down again when you make that decision, we'd love to visit with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You bet. Coach DeMoss, I really appreciate you on being a part of this. And we had an extended conversation earlier today, and you couldn't have said more nice things or complimentary things about Ellior. So I was really looking forward to this, and thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, Guy. I appreciate it.
You bet. You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Keep it right here, and we'll be back